Hey guys, here at DYA Performance Garage here, working on the 88 notch. Just want to give you guys a little update. Came in tonight, worked on the car a little bit. As you can tell, I got cut out and put on right there where the harness would be through. You don't need that, and then you'll have that one right there as well. I cover those two holes in the back along with smoothing out the engine bay here as well. I went ahead and smoothed out here on both sides. It does look really ugly, but I'm gonna let it dry. I'm gonna come back in here and sand the daylights out of it, get it smoothed down, and add some more where I need to add, just make sure it looks good. As far as this stuff goes here and that over here, you can get Scott Rod, which will come down and right there and cover everything, or from right here, and then you just like pop rivet on. In this area, come down, around, and then pop rivet on here without that, or you can get the other Scott Rod where you actually cut out all the way down here and all the way out here, and then you weld it in as well, and it gets rid of all this messy holes, all that messy hole on that side, and then just tack weld it in, and then do the Bondo, and then primer, and then paint and all that. This is a long process, but well worth it in the long run. This car is going to be a pretty nice car. Hopefully it will be also hopefully be ready for shows and racing as well. But good time to replace these, which and that would be your AC and another one there. That way you get that done, because you'll have to take the dash out for it, unfortunately. But you might as well do that while you're going to have the car, if you have your car apart, because a lot of times there's leak. Habishi's leaking. And I'll show you a cool little update here. I was able to pick up not one, but two Coyote motors, F-150. This one's out of a Gen 2. This is a Gen 2 motor out of an F-150 15. That's a Gen 1 out of a 13 F-150. So I actually have Mustang cams coming in. I just purchased this also. I'm gonna do is take these out, take the stock. I'm gonna replace the intake exams and the exhaust cams and that, but depending on what that motor looks like inside, we might use the internals out of this one, but still keep the Gen 1 Mustang cams in this. That way I can use a Gen 1 control pack, which is just a little bit cheaper. So when you go to buy your thing, get a hold of Power by the Hour. They do a lot of good stuff. They do a lot of Coyote swaps. They'll tell you what Gen 1, Gen 2 control pack you need. But the biggest thing is the connectors on the Gen 2 and the cams from a Gen 2 Mustang versus the Gen 1 connectors on the heads, the back of the heads, and the cams on that will tell you what control pack you need. If you have any questions, feel free to give Power by the Hour a call. They are the experts on that. But I just want to show you a quick update. Thought this was pretty cool. I was able, like I said, this is a budget build. It's going to take probably a little over a year or more to do, but we're slowly and surely getting there. I just couldn't pass up the deal I got on these two motors. But unfortunately, we won't be able to use the Gen 2 block. There's an ear, I'll show you on this Gen 1 here. There's an ear on the back, this right here, where the transmission hooks up to. It is broke off the Gen 2 that way, so that one's unfortunately not able to be used. Maybe somebody else can use it, I don't know, but I don't plan on using it. I'm gonna stick with the Gen 1. Like I said, possibly tear down the Gen 1 and put the Gen 2 internals and still leave the Gen 1 heads and Mustang cams, that way I can still run the Gen 1 control pack. Alrighty, man. Alrighty, guys. Just want to show you an update. Everything looks good. Like I said, coming back here, I'll come in on another day, probably in a day or two. Come in here and sand this all down, reapply where it needs to be reapplied, and then we'll go from there. Start getting prep on the engine bay and hopefully get some paint down. I'm actually going to use truck bed liner spray, just because I like the texture look, and it'll hold up really well. But you can spray obviously the same paint that you would be on the outside of your car if you want it on the engine bay on the inside. But this car is actually originally bright regatta blue. It was actually repainted to silver, unfortunately. But Long-term goals for it's going to probably be plasti dip it until I can come up with enough money to get a nice paint job. But as far as now, as of now, it's going to be the way it sits until we get her up and moving. Alrighty, guys, like, subscribe, keep following my build. Thank you.